It's big plays.
What a play!
Bad days.
I bet this guy's into the woods $100.
And parlays.
That's the one. Parlay.
Big plays, bad days, and parlays on Hurrdat Sports.
Care to place a wager?
Saxophones are on and we have liftoff. Big plays, bad days, and parlays. Troy Aldridge, James Merrick, Andrew Rogers coming to you, boys. How we doing?
Good to be back, baby.
Yes, sir. As always.
I hate betting. I hate the sports book. I hate the Jaguars. I hate Clemson. I hate the Bears. I hate betting. Did I say that already? And I probably hate it more than the dude that didn't cash out for his Monday Night Football parlay.
Dude, did you see what they gave him?
Yeah, like $23,000.
Like a weekend in Vegas during the NFL playoffs with his friends.
Oh, wait, that's what they just gave him?
Yeah,
afterward?
like a trip to Vegas. Yeah.
I didn't see that. I thought you meant the cash out initially.
No. No, I meant like I don't know if it was like a hotel or the sports book or who, but they gave him a weekend in Vegas during the NFL playoffs.
BR betting, isn't that Barstool betting? Is BR betting Barstool?
So
it would have been
get
Barstool.
Rewarded for losing now?
Bleacher Report.
Oh, that's
BR
yeah,
betting.
that's probably right. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't know.
Not only did BR betting take him to Vegas to watch that game, because he lost, he gets rewarded.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
I mean, good for him, I guess. Good for him.
I'm just going to start making outlandish bets and then just praying that they give me free shit.
However.
They didn't want him to hurt himself.
Yeah, exactly. Think about this, though. What if... I don't know why that was so funny.
He would have.
What if you cashed out for $23,000 before the game? You went to Vegas, and then you just told your buddies, hey, let's go to Vegas during the NFL playoffs and watch games there on my dime. And I'd still have probably $5,000 remaining after both of those trips. Think about that.
That's true.
Yeah, that would have been amazing.
Dude, I can't believe it, though. Why didn't he cash out? I was so high on the 49ers, and I know you don't just trust me, but...
Or Jimmy G.
The 49ers were favored in that game. Their defense is outstanding. Jimmy G is awesome at home. Matt Stafford hasn't looked good all year. What are we talking about? I'm hitting that green button as fast as I can.
So quickly.
It went down so fast, too, to like $10,000.
Yeah, at halftime, it was quickly $10,000, and I still would have hit it. I know you're only down 8 points at this point, but you're still down. I mean, if you were winning and the cash out went up to like 46,000, just say, would you have hit it? If the Rams were winning 14-6 at halftime and you gambled that far, I guess you probably just stick it out and ride it, but I don't know. I think that was a poor opportunity.
Yeah, I don't think I would have got that far.
It's one thing if the guy was rich, right? But the guy is a bartender in Arizona. You know that guy hardly sees $23,000 in a year bartending. Why aren't you just smacking that? That's rent for 2 years. I don't know.
We're all degenerates, man. He's just like us.
He sacrificed $23,000 for 3 hours of fame on social media. Just 3.
Yeah, apparently. I wonder if he knew he was going to get all that stuff if he lost. Like, you think they mentioned that to him at all before the fact?
I doubt it.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
Because you don't want to make him like release that information too. Like, oh well, if I lose, it's still okay because I get to come back.
Right.
For a playoff series, that's so sick.
I mean, it's sick, but you still have to bring your own money. It's not like they're just giving him $5,000 to come back too.
Right.
Well, yeah. Didn't they say they were paying for just the rooms?
I would imagine, yeah.
And then he obviously he gambles whatever he wants to gamble. Yeah.
Right. I mean, if it were up to me, though, like I said, I would hit the button and done that myself. I could have gone to 3 playoff series.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Oh, well.
Did you guys hear, this also happened over the weekend, did you guys hear about the fishing fiasco? Anything about, did you
With
see
the lead
James?
weights?
Yeah, you saw that?
They start cutting them open.
So here's what happened. There was a guy, I don't know if it was a tandem of two, regardless, they were in this fishing tournament, and they were fishing for bass, I think. And how that works is you weigh the fish out. So you catch a fish, you hold on to it, you weigh it, and then if you have like the most weight, you win X amount of prize money, whatever it is.
It's a lot. They're big prizes.
And they're huge.
Like,
yeah. It was.
Sometimes you get like an $80,000 boat and stuff. Like, they're big prizes.
Yeah. And so this guy had been cheating by plugging his fishes with lead weights, other carcasses of fish, so that it would weigh more.
Them down their throats.
Yeah. Like just basically killing, Jeffrey Dahmering these fish in order to have them weigh more.
It's genius.
And he did it for years.
Genius.
He did it for years. And
Had to have.
he got caught. He
How?
got caught. I don't know exactly. Maybe somebody saw him stuffing the fish. All I know is what happened in the aftermath. And I feel like the reaction of the fellow fishermen that crowded around this one dude is one I often have with the sports books.
There's so many people mad.
Police report.
Jason, we gotta file police report. Every fucking one. Every single fucking thing.
Yeah, I don't know how those guys made it out of there alive.
Yeah, I don't. Did he see today? Like, did we check on him?
Oh my goodness. You're absolutely
like, Troy,
right.
I tell you, they're cutting the belly of these fish open and they're pulling weight after weight out of these things.
Like what weight? Like what kind of weights are we talking
Golf
about?
ball
Like,
size lead weights.
Like fishing lead weight, but like the big ones, not
like the
not
ones
just
that
little
immediately sink your hook to the bottom.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow.
They looked like I said, golf balls, but they are just lead. Just
Dude
a
was
ball of
corking
lead.
his fish. That's
Yes.
hilarious.
Dude,
Yes.
literally. And they're cutting them out, and everybody's just getting pissed.
But he's won so many tournaments, and I don't really know who the guy is. I didn't do as much research. I just really enjoyed the reactions from the rest of the fishermen out there. But this guy had apparently won a ton of tournaments, won a ton of prize money, as James said. Like, some prizes are even like brand new fishing boats and different things like that. And just cheating. He could easily go to jail for that. Easily.
They said hundreds of thousands of dollars in prizes that he had won.
Yeah,
wow.
just cheating.
Oh my God.
I mean, just think about like that being your baby. That's your sport. And you came up in second place to this guy 3 times, and you're like, man, how can I not catch the biggest fish? And you had it those 3 times, and that would have equated to like $75,000 in cash.
He probably had like the 4th or 5th highest weighed fish and was putting 20, 30 pounds in that guy.
Yeah.
Being runners up, would be miserable.
Wow.
Oh, man.
That's crazy.
Yep, a lot of those fishermen missed out on prize money, just like how we missed out a lot this weekend on prize money. More than I'd like to say. Stop that. You guys missed out on a ton, too. You cannot tell me you had good weekends.
I had a green.
I made my money back. Yep, same.
I made a little more.
Oh, I made my money back. Oh, I made some money.
You just got to start riding our bets, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
Stop it. You guys are going to be in for a treat when I hit all of mine this weekend.
Heard that before.
All of them, huh?
I mean, fuck. This is stupid.
Hey, you got to start riding them, man. Come on.
It takes us
I do. That's the issue. I ride the bets that you do, but there's some bets that you don't either tell me about.
Right. Or I'm being a degenerate and placing like 5.
Correct. But like, that's the thing. I can't ride the right one.
Of course.
And that's what ticks me off. I just keep missing.
That seems to be a thing. Same thing with me and James. Like when we decide to do something together, it doesn't even come close. But the second we do opposite shit, they either hit or they come extremely close to hitting.
Me and Troy never bet together anymore.
Crazy.
So you guys had your weekend saved back to back.
Some wide receivers saved it. Yep.
I had back-to-back misses, if not a trio of misses at this point. But we'll stick to back-to-back because some may start calling these type of misses a double doink.
Good snap. Good hold. Lets his kick on the way. And it is off the upright. Double doink.
Double doink.
So Kevin
the guy was loving it.
Kevin Kugler, awesome on the broadcast. Mark Sanchez, again, missed his mark. This guy on the call is ridiculous. He may be worse than Troy Aikman. He has a lot more personality and more fun, but he sounds
too much fun.
He sounds like he is ejaculating all over that press box.
He's like drunk on there.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just the noises that guy makes. Play that clip, Dylan, one more time for us.
Good snap. Good hold.
Listen to Mark Sanchez right here.
Like zoinks.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It sounds like Scooby-Doo. Zoinks. Double doink.
Golly.
And he's just puking up a storm or and some weird noise. What is happening? What goes through?
Could have picked so many quarterbacks.
He's so many.
Yeah,
so
Mark
many.
Sanchez.
Hey,
Dude was begging to be on there for
Troy
years.
Aikman, Mark Sanchez. They just picked the bad ones, man. They just picked the bad ones, right? Troy Aikman, he sucked playing football. So
Yeah,
he was never good. He didn't win anything. Mark Sanchez makes his way onto the show for the second straight week. Last week, of course, he delivered a great line of clearing out defenders like a teenager clearing his search history. And
he's on this show more than us.
And now he delivers some odd moans, if that's a great way to put it. This is interesting. After seeing the double doink in slow motion, so we heard the live play-by-play call, but then they saw it in slow motion. So you don't think it could get any worse for Mark Sanchez, right? Not true, because this is how he reacted on the slow motion clip.
Oh my God. What is he doing?
I started questioning if he was actually in the press box for this game, or if he was like remotely calling the game in London from home, and he and his wife were getting into something as that play was going on.
Oh my God.
I just what is Mark Sanchez up to during these broadcasts? That's what I want to know. I'd love to sit in. Maybe I can reach out to Kevin Kugler and he can bring me for a ride along, and I can just video record Mark Sanchez during these games.
I don't know if you're ready for that.
Take out the best Sanchezisms and then play them on the show the next week. That'd be awesome. I think the highlight of NFL Sunday was watching all of the fantasy owners, though, wake up to see Alvin Kamara not in the lineup. A big O next to his name. Sorry if you got, a little schwasty on Saturday night. Maybe you had a late night playing video games. You weren't up in time. I've been saying this all week. You only have yourself to blame. It's your fault. You should know. A guy coming in with a questionable tag may or may not play come pregame warmups. It connected perfectly to a video I saw the day prior. So naturally, I had to send this clip to everyone that did fall victim to this tragedy Sunday morning.
Are you fond of that? Are you amenable to that? Do you look favorably upon that? Can I inquire if you're keen on that? Might I trouble you to find out your response on that?
Do you guys know who that was?
No.
Kirk Cousins. And it's a playoff of him saying, "You like that? You like that?" But it's his way to deliver it in London, right? So play the clip one more time, Dylan.
Are you fond of that?
You like that?
Are you amenable to that?
You like that?
Do you look favorably upon that? Can I inquire if you're keen on that?
My favorite one.
Might I trouble you to find out your response on that?
Can you imagine him walking by? Might I trouble you for a response on that? So I had to send that, of course, because, Kirk Cousins was the guy that defeated the Saints, right? If you had Alvin Kamara, of course he plays on the Saints, and that was my way of saying you like that to anybody that started him. More often than not, the response was fuck you. So.
They knew. Like, there was nothing. There was nothing that hinted that he might not play. There was nothing.
Wait.
He was limited all week.
Oh, okay.
He was still practicing.
Right. So you're saying the Saints knew that Kamara wasn't going to play, but
unless he hurt himself bad in pregame, but dude, I'm telling you, all week there was nothing that says he wasn't going to be on the field.
You got that right. However, my only point to argue that is it's still the fantasy manager's fault for not getting up in the morning.
Yeah, I honestly didn't think about it. Didn't think he was that big of a question mark. I thought he was on the right side of it. Didn't have to worry about it.
I'm not even worried about that.
I was barely late, like 9 o'clock too.
I'm not even worried about that in particular. I'm actually just more worried that people didn't get up to watch football at 8:30. Like, what were they doing? Get up. It's football all day. Sorry, Troy.
I was up.
Yeah, I know, man. Like I said, I almost made it. I barely missed it.
Missed it by that much. But it's time to pull my head out of my ass this week, boys. Maybe not you guys. Maybe you can go along with that if you want. You only had bets that saved your weekend, which a save is a win. But at least my validity status on talking sports betting is dwindling. It is dwindling. So let's get into plays this week. And I promise you, everybody out there, I'm laying this promise down. I'm winning.
Don't do that.
Follow me this week. It's happening. I'm due. It's now.
Promise?
The time is now.
It's going to start throwing pinkies around.
You want to do it?
Oh,
Come on.
I'm not touching that.
Come on. You guys are going to be sorry if you don't touch these bets this week. Let's talk.
You're like Juju, dude. I'm not touching you till you do something. You got to do something, man.
Hey, they wouldn't pay me all this money. This is what I talked about with Allen Robinson. He got a touchdown in week 2 after doing nothing in week 1. They wouldn't pay you all that money to not get you involved. This is the week to get me involved. They're peppering me.
Okay.
People are peppering me this week. It's happening. I'll put money down. I'll probably put about $100 down, maybe $150 down this week, and it's going to happen.
Wow.
You guys ready? Lots to talk about. Let's get right into it. Thursday Night Football. For starters, no Javonte Williams, no Jonathan Taylor for this matchup between the Colts and the Broncos. Yay. Let's talk parlays, because that's the only way to get me back this week. James, what do you like?
For Thursday Night Football, all right. So I wanted to start off. Latavius Murray. All right. Melvin Gordon's got that case of fumbleitis, huh?
Oh. He does.
Mike Boone, who is this guy? Latavius Murray, 5-point-something yards a carry over the last 3 years.
That's disgusting.
Yep. Played for the Saints last week.
He loves the goal line touches too. He's all over it. Latavius Murray, Jerry Jeudy, and Naheem Hines. Naheem Hines definitely going to get in the end zone. Those three combined.
I can't back you on this Latavius Murray. I just can't.
I don't care.
I don't even know if he's going to see the field this week. He doesn't even know the playbook.
That's why. Yeah, this game's going to be so disgusting. I don't know if there'll be 3 touchdowns. So
if anything, I'm taking Mike Boone over Latavius Murray. He at least knows the
odds
plays.
Are gross. Plus 140 though. Latavius Murray's like plus 280.
Because Latavius Murray's probably not going to touch the ball.
But
wasn't he just running for the Saints last week?
Sure was.
Exactly. That's why they'll say,
at least he's playing.
HB dive up the middle.
Guys, quick turnaround. He's not going to be involved in the offense this week. No shot. And Melvin Gordon's not coming off the field this week either, because nobody wants to turn to Mike
And if
Boone
he fumbles, it'll be
How many fumbles this year? 4?
It'll go to
25 career fumbles and 4 fumbles this year, yeah. But now he's going to get consistent touches. He's going to hold on to the ball. This Colts defense won't pluck it out. No way. I don't like that.
We'll see.
I don't like that. See, don't go with James this week. I'm telling you. Don't do it.
Oh, I don't love I probably won't even bet that, to be honest. That's the.
Don't say that then.
What do you mean? What? I probably won't touch this game at all. It's going to be disgusting.
Oh, you'll touch it.
You'll play it.
Yeah,
We'll
I'll change
touch
the
it.
under to 40.5, and I'll take the under.
Yeah, put 50 on it.
Should have done that. Mm-hmm.
No, I will, because it's 43.5, and that's way too much for these two teams.
All right. Troy, what do you like?
I like Hines as well, and I'm going to do Pittman and Judy. I'm going to do those three.
See, I wasn't big on Judy this week.
Do you like the Colts to win?
I actually think the Broncos. I put the Broncos in my pool. I think that they win at home. I think this is, again, just like they expect these games to be so low scoring, those gross ones. And then give me 3 or 4 touchdowns in this game. I think this is a get-right game for Russell.
It's got to be a get-right game for Matt Ryan, too.
They've been saying that since week 1, so
yeah.
Somebody's got to be right eventually.
I like Judy. Sutton won me money last week. He's been scoring the past couple weeks. I think they find a way to get Judy going. He's a one-play guy, can take it to the crib as soon as he touches the ball. But yeah, Judy, Pittman, and Hines. Boom.
I like the Hines play. I have him and a backup bet, but I'm going to actually avoid him for my starting bet. And the only reason for that is I agree with James. I don't think there's going to be a lot of touchdowns in this game, so I'm just going to try to choose right out of 2. I'm only going to stick with 2 and then mix in a couple of player props in as well. I love Melvin Gordon to score. He's a must-start. I would expect him to score too. He can run all over this Colts defense, no problem. Yes, of course, the fumbles are there, but I don't like Mike Boone. I don't like Latavius Murray this week. The only guy I do like is Melvin Gordon, and he's bound to get in this week. I also really like Mo Alley Cox again to score.
Your what hurts?
Yeah, watch out for
So Mo Alley Cox scored
watch out for Jelani Woods
twice last week. And I'd say here comes another, because the Broncos love zone coverage. Zone coverage is, of course, great for tight ends. He can just find the hole, sit right there, 10-yard gain here and there. But Matt Ryan loves peppering that dude in the end zone. Excuse me. And here's also why I think there will be a passing touchdown over a rushing touchdown for Indy this week. It's because Frank Reich told reporters that with the ground game struggling, of course, no Jonathan Taylor too, if they have to throw the ball more, they will. And in this game, they're going to throw the ball more because Nyheim Hines isn't the guy that can just grab the ball, run right through the line, and be effective. If Jonathan Taylor hasn't been effective with his offensive line, Hines won't be either. But Hines could be effective out of the passing game, which I think could lead to him catching a ball and then scoring a touchdown in that light. But I like Melvin Gordon to score, Mo Alley Cox to score. I also really like Alec Pierce to have over 34.5 receiving yards. I think that is juicy for him after the numbers he put up last week. Denver's secondary is stacking up with injuries. You're going to have Surtain on Pittman. He's going to be locked down, but where does that leave Matt Ryan to throw the ball? Alec Pierce's direction. At least 35 yards. That plus odds are so juicy, and I also think Matt Ryan's throwing a pick this week. That parlay, just those 4, plus 4,000. Yes, sir.
Alec Pierce.
Ooh. The rookie out of Cincinnati is going to go off.
Name.
Oh, God.
Allie Cox is getting in again.
Pittman is getting in the end zone, man.
I don't think so. I really
100%.
don't think so this week.
Jelani Woods. He's in there.
One touchdown so far for Pittman. I know he coming back from injury.
Missed a week. He almost had one yesterday. His feet weren't in.
Sure did. Sunday, you mean.
Sorry, yeah, my bad.
Yesterday. It was apparently Sunday.
Tuesday night football.
Tuesday night. Yeah, Tuesday night. They played on Tuesday night and Thursday night. Might as well, right? Might as well have a Tuesday night football. My backup bet, though, just quickly, I like Hines to score. That's the only touchdown in there, though. I think Pittman catches 6 receptions. Melvin rushes for over 54.5 yards, and the under hits at under 45.5. I bought points. That's only plus 1,600, but I think it's safe. I think that's my safe bet for the week, or for at least Thursday night football.
Plus 1,600.
Well, it's safer than plus 4,000.
Safer.
I know. Messing with you.
But that's just where I go. That's where my head's at. I did a lot of research here. Normally, my research doesn't pay off, so this week it's going to. I got to check my sources, though. Make sure I'm not going to the same websites anymore. It just kind of was the same website over and over, like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. And then I'm like, I'm not really going to trust covers.com as much or the Action Network as much. So that's what I like. Those two bets. James, run through yours one more time.
Oh, Latavius Murray, Jerry Jeudy, and Naheem Hines.
And then Troy?
Get right game for Wilson, Hines, Pittman, Jeudy.
We'll get these bets up on Hurrdat Sports social channels for you to follow along with. And even if it's just a $5 bet on all of those, $20 at that point, you put $20 on 4 bets, you're bound to make some money here because those two make money all the time. Maybe you just choose them, and then I win both, and then you guys can suck it. But we'll see. Also on Thursday, a little bit of golf kicks off. James?
Oh, yeah. Oh, the Shriners Children's Open? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. What is up with these? I mean, it's like college bowl games at this point.
Like Sanderson Farms, Shriners Children's Open, like they're getting ridiculous.
I'm telling you, it's just like college football bowl games. That's what.
Where's this one at?
Oh,
Las Vegas.
Oh, he looked it up because he knew I was going to challenge him on it.
Yeah, so I'm going to keep it short this week. Last week, our boy Taylor Montgomery, Raj, he had a good showing, finished -12, 5 strokes back off the lead, back to the top 10.
I let my heart talk last week, too, because I put money on 5 Korn Ferry Tour PGA card winners from this year, and it just didn't go well. So I'm going to stay away from that. Like I said, I let my emotions get the best of me in golf. Go ahead.
I'm actually on Taylor Montgomery again this week because I'm a fan of his already after that 1 week that I watched him. He shot, I think, -1 after the first round, and I was like, I don't know. And then comes up day 2, shoots -7. And I was like, all right, this guy's sick. He can just ring off birdies. This course is supposed to be another birdie fest. Last year was -20, the leader. But Taylor Montgomery, yeah, I'm going to be on him again just because I'm his fan now. And then the guy I actually really like is Patrick Cantley, coming off playing hot at the President's Cup a couple weeks ago. He won here in 2017, runner-up in 2018, runner-up in 2019. So he plays here really well. And, yeah, he's a birdie machine if you know Cantley at all. So
Matthew Wolff was a lot like that, too, the past 2 years. He was in the same boat as Cantley.
He's really fun to watch golf. His swing's pretty.
So Patrick Cantley and Taylor Montgomery for James. I'm not talking about golf. I'm not doing it. Nope.
The fields they're not strong enough yet to be super fun. In terms of watching, betting, it's a little better just because the odds are great. And you'll have like a couple guys like Cantley at he's probably plus 1,200 or so. But it'll be fun.
I meant more because I'm really good at betting.
Yeah.
I bet really well.
It shows.
I also am really excited for the MLB postseason kicking off on Friday. It starts with the Rays and Guardians. Almost said the other one. And then follows with the Phillies Cardinals. Let's jump right into brackets because I want to have a little bit of fun here before we continue. Let's build our MLB postseason brackets, and the winner, of course, we'll have bragging rights. We'll find a prize. We'll award a prize. We'll play for somebody. But the 2 losers of this, let's have a punishment. What do you guys think? A punishment for this?
Oh, yeah.
Might as well.
Of course. Has to be, right?
We know Raj ain't winning, so.
That's true. So, we don't have to worry about last.
It was me against James.
James against I. That wouldn't be right. I was trying to be a grammar Nazi, and it didn't work. Damn it. Okay. Let's start with the first wild card game. Troy, do you think the Astros are going to win or the bye?
I guess the bye. I mean, they only won 104 games, so they're not a good baseball team.
The bye's on a 6 streak.
They are.
They haven't lost in a minute.
Yep. All they do is put teams on the back burner. They just
at least they can't cheat against the bye. At least they can't cheat.
They don't score a lot, but they give up 0.
Yeah, they do. They do. They have the best pitching staff in baseball. All jokes aside. Blue Jays and Mariners. First one that I see on my list up in the American League. We won't get too far into this. We're just going to make our picks, and then we're going to move on. Troy, who do you like in this one?
I like the Blue Jays.
James?
Blue Jays.
I took the Blue Jays as well. Rays, Guardians.
It's a tougher one. I went Rays.
I went Guardians with that one.
I went Rays as well. I think one of the AL Cy Young runner-ups is going to be McClanahan. So
Game 1?
He'll start in Game 1 for sure. Mets, Padres.
That's an easy one. Mets for me, I think. I think they handle them pretty easily.
I'm with the Mets, yeah.
I actually had the Padres at first here, but then I remembered that not only do the Mets have DeGrom, they have Scherzer.
Sure.
And there's
yeah.
I just don't think there's any opportunity for the Padres to be successful, even though they have Darvish and Musgrove. Both are
good games.
Both are good pitchers, but neither are even close to the first two that I just mentioned. Cards, Phillies, easy. St. Louis Cardinals, let's go.
Yeah, sorry, boys. You know the Phillies are winning. Nola and Wheeler, baby.
87 and 74 are the Phillies. The Cardinals 93 and 68. James?
Cardinals.
Peep it. Peep the baby blue, the real baby blue.
Hey, that when I saw that they were playing each other in St. Louis, that's the sound I made.
Yes.
No joke.
Yeah, and then the sheer disappointment when we found out that it's at 1:00 on Friday.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it is.
I'll be watching.
Would have
You'll
gone.
be there.
We would have gone to the game.
I hope.
We would have gone if it was at night.
Okay, next up, Astros, Blue Jays. Troy.
Astros. Too good.
James?
Stros.
I took the Stros as well. We'll start with Troy and I. Yankees, Rays. Troy?
Yankees, hopefully they don't choke.
I took the Yankees, too. I think with the season Aaron Judge is having and the hype that's surrounding him, of course, the baseball gods will love him. James, Yankees, Guardians.
Yankees.
I think that's safe. I don't like the Guardians lineup. I don't think they have enough to compete there. Next on the list, Dodgers, Mets. This will be good. This will be a good series.
I went Mets.
Could be.
James?
I like the Mets.
I don't hate it at all. I like the Dodgers.
I took the Dodgers as well. I just think their lineup's unstoppable. Cards, Braves, James?
As much of a fan as I am, the Braves.
I took the Cardinals. No doubt.
I love it.
I took the
I love
Cardinals. Phillies, Braves, Troy?
Phillies. Come on, man.
Here we go. I think Troy and
That's
I's
easy.
bracket ends up the same.
Oh, yeah.
Just maybe flip-flopped at the end. Astros, Yankees.
Stros.
James?
Stros.
I took the Yankees. I took the Yankees here. I think we're going to get a little bit of Yankees-Cardinals at the end of it. Dodgers, Cardinals. I took the Cards. Troy took the Phillies. James,
Easy.
you have an unbiased bracket between the Dodgers and the Braves. Who do you like?
Dodgers.
So 2 1 seeds for James, right? Astros and Dodgers. Who's winning?
Stros.
Stros are winning. Troy, who's winning?
Phillies. 4-3 against
Phillies
the Stros. Come
over
on.
the Stros. I have also the Cardinals over the Yankees in 7. I kind of like how this worked out because, excuse me, if the Yankees go far, I'm set. If they don't go far, I'm fucked. But vice versa. Maybe the Stros lose to the Blue Jays somehow. And then, boom.
If the Cardinals win, I'm done.
Oh, same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing
Done.
with me. Yep. So it'll be pretty easy to figure out who's going to have a punishment come the show in how many months? November, what? Like second weekend of November? Is that when we're thinking World Series will end?
Something like that. Yeah, towards the end. Yeah.
So there you have it. I have the Cardinals winning the World Series. Let's go, STL. Troy has the Phillies winning the World Series. And James actually has a bracket that could end up winning. And that is the Stros.
Hey, just need a 2011 miracle.
You said the Stros or the Dodgers? I'm sorry.
Stros to win.
Stros. So you like to bang trash cans too. We get it.
Yeah, I have them all over the place.
Let's actually talk about this wild card series a little bit, though. Of course, we'll talk about prizes and punishments down the road. Maybe after the wild card series, we'll come up with things. We'll present them back to the people. Maybe we'll have the people vote. I think that's a great idea. We each come up with an idea. They vote on Twitter, and then we'll decide that way. But let's go with our wild card series winners. I think that's where our heads are at right now. It's really tough for all the sports bettors out there. It's really tough to put your mind into the player prop game early on in the postseason, just because you have most likely two of the best pitchers going at it, and you don't really know how the hitters will phase against, Scherzer, DeGrom, Kershaw, Urias. You got Nola and Wheeler, and we can keep going down the list. But that's why I think, at least here on this show, we're sticking to series winners. We're looking ahead over the next 3 days, opposed to just Friday, just Saturday, just Sunday. I like all of the favorites in the postseason. I like not the Yankees, I'm sorry. I like the Blue Jays over the Mariners. I like the Mets over the Padres. I like the Cardinals over the Phillies. And my only dog is the Rays to get out of their bracket. That comes out to plus 812. I think that's a really juicy number. And I really love mixing in an underdog somewhere in there, because you never know what's going to happen in playoff baseball. That's what I like. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, James.
So I was the same as you there, except the flip-flop the Guardians and the Rays, so my odds wouldn't be as juicy, probably around like 650 or so. But I still don't think that's bad odds at all, and something to keep up with too over the weekend.
I think Troy is going to come away with the juiciest odds here. Did you calculate them?
No, I did not. I can really quick if you want me to.
Here, go ahead. You talk about it. I'll calculate for you.
I did the same thing. The Blue Jays' young core, I think, will lead them to a series win. The Rays are always tough in the playoffs, so I'm going to go with the Rays. Mets will handle the Padres, and then I did the Phillies, who are also the underdog.
Comes out to 10-26. So that is Troy's wild card series winners parlay. I'm falling to the middle, and then James took the favorites, right? All four favorites. So another safe one to just follow along with the favorites, which could easily happen when it comes to betting on postseason baseball. If you put a future in on the Phillies, who Troy likes, that is plus 2,500. If you put a future in on the Cardinals to win the World Series, that is plus 2,200. And if you put a future in on the Astros, you won't have as juicy of odds, but plus 425 is still nice. On a $10 bet, you're taking home $42.50. Of course, you're taking home $42.50. No, $32.50, and then you get your 10 back. Right? Am I that? Or is it
$42.50 and you get your 10 back?
And you get your 10
so
back.
It would be $52.50.
Right. So there you have it. That's what we like for postseason baseball. I didn't want to talk about college football on Friday because last week I went 0 for 3. I thought Houston was going to tear it
being
up.
So hot,
Dude,
too.
I was
Friday was your only day, too, man.
I watched that Houston game, and I was like, oh, he's puking.
Well, it's just ridiculous.
That quarterback, dude.
What happened? Clayton Tune, he's just not good this year. Last year, he was awesome. That Houston team is just disgusting now. Now I know why the odds makers went the way they did. Plus, I said the same thing about Michigan State on Saturday, and they got their butt whooped. So maybe falling out of the top 25, there's reason for it. You have hype coming into the season based off your last year's projections, and it just doesn't work out. So I avoided Friday football because, like I said, I went 0 for 3. But we're going to get it back on Saturday here because there's 3 games in particular that I like, and then we'll get into a fourth where James and I kind of get into a little bit of a discussion with his team. I think Florida minus 11. I know it's a lot of points, but they are playing Mizzou, and I think that's very safe. I wouldn't react to Mizzou and Georgia. Don't overreact to that because...
Dude, I don't know. Brady Cook might be it.
He may be the answer. But Georgia looked atrocious in that game. If you saw how much Mizzou was getting under their skin by not even realizing it On the sidelines, they were turning against each other. Kirby Smart lost all control of that team, and yet they still squeaked out a win. Thank goodness that they're the number one team in the nation, and Mizzou is not better than they are. They also have a 250-pound kicker, which I love at Mizzou. I think that's
he was
awesome.
Burying those 50-yarders.
Yes, he was. But both Mizzou's offense and Florida's defense, they're bad. Look, there's nothing to write home about. However, Florida, they're in a comfortable spot to control this game because of their dual-threat quarterback, Anthony Richardson, who's looked great over the last 2 weeks. The only dual-threat quarterback to completely dust Mizzou this year was Adrian Martinez, quarterback at K-State. That outcome was 40-13. In other games against Mizzou, against non-dual-threat quarterbacks, Mizzou's been good. But if they can't really figure out if a quarterback's going to take off or not, Anthony Richardson is better than Adrian Martinez, at least in my opinion. So I like Anthony Richardson to lead the Gators to a 14-point win in this football game. If you want to even get juicy with it, take minus 13.5 and make your odds positive. I think Florida takes home this game by 14. I also like Mississippi State this week, minus 9.5 against Arkansas. Now, that may not sound as juicy, right? Because Arkansas, of course, a top 25 team. At least I still think they're a top 25 team. Arkansas has been put through the ringer, though, the last 2 weeks. They played Texas A&M and they played Alabama. Mike Leach loves to air the football. He loves it. And Arkansas secondary, because of the tough opponents that they've played, they've ended up having now a injury-riddled secondary, one that's pretty shaky. Mike Leach and this offense, who has the best last-named quarterback in football, are going to destroy the Razorbacks, at least by 10. Will Rogers, amazing. Still a Heisman candidate. Also, KJ Jefferson may not be able to go, and there may be a backup for Arkansas in this game. If that happens, I think 9.5 is an absolute steal for the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. I like Mississippi State minus 9.5. The last one I like, I will save for my Build-A-Parlay, but let's get into Alabama and Texas A&M. One matchup that has a lot of drama that is following it after the start of the season. Of course, Nick Saban taking a shot at Jimbo Fisher, A&M having the best recruiting class in the nation. A&M also probably one of the more overhyped teams in football that can't live up to expectations. James, your boys from Bama, are they going to handle Texas A&M being 24-point favorites?
Are you fond of that?
I am fond of that. Yeah, dude. You saw that game last week. My favorite part about last weekend was our friend Tim Duck putting $100 on.
I thought you were going to say
cover.
Bryce Young leaving the game early.
No, that was not my favorite part. The $100 on Arkansas to cover 17.5, and they couldn't do that without Bryce Young in the game. So that Milroe dude, he's our backup. He can't throw the ball great, but he can run the heck out of the ball.
He can't throw the ball great? That's what you always want from your quarterback.
5 carries for 91 yards and a touchdown last week. That was pretty awesome to see. Jahmyr Gibbs broke off 2 70-yard touchdowns. That's the first time he's played into the fourth quarter, so I think it's cool to see him getting more than 10 touches and just see what he can do with it. I think that's why he's been struggling, but I think Saban's going to hold out the information on Bryce Young. He sprained his AC joint in his shoulder, so it's very up in the air if he plays.
How dare you bring up only Bryce Young after this team victory? How dare you? Even after the reporter asked a question about how did your team fight through adversity when Bryce Young left the game. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about this team. What? I'm confused about what I just asked you.
What did I just ask? Yeah, I thought the same thing. That was so stupid. Yeah, I'm not saying I like Saban as a guy, but he's a heck of a coach.
So you think they can cover at 24?
I think it's a really fair line if Bryce Young doesn't play.
You think it'll go down if he's ruled out?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So should we wait until we see the status?
I think if we waited till like Saturday morning and the game's at 7. So if we waited till Saturday afternoon and he got ruled out, I think that would go way down and then you would hit it.
Head to the border? Because we don't live in sports betting states, yet we talk about it? Man.
No live betting for us.
That's what fucks me every week.
The defense is too good too. Will Anderson, Kool-Aid McKinstry, they lead the way. They're studs. So I think I don't think Texas A&M's going to do a lot.
Yeah, like I said, I think they are the most overhyped team in all of football, especially with the expectations that were set coming in.
And it's at Bryant-Denny. See ya.
Is that the name of the football stadium?
Bama's, yeah.
I figured. I didn't think it was at like some fried chicken restaurant. Bryant-Denny? Isn't that what it sounds like? Is that what you said? Bryant-Denny?
That is what I said.
James
but it's
tells,
not like Denny's.
James tells everyone she's beautiful. And he's like, it's just a football stadium. No laugh, no nothing. Thanks, James.
What's that?
Appreciate
Don't
it.
know what that's from.
It was just, I think it was an Instagram post that one of my buddies had a while back about Alabama Stadium. And I guess I just remembered it. It just sat in the back of my brain.
Sick caption.
Yeah, I thought it was funny, and nobody else really laughed. I may have gotten a deep sigh from Troy up there in the corner, but that's about it. Let's move on because I don't need to keep, circling around this. Let's talk about the NFL on Sunday, and then, of course, going into Monday, both primetime games. Sunday Night Football, Cincy and Baltimore. Monday Night Football, Las Vegas and Kansas City. I think we have two very fun primetime matchups this week, and it's about dang time that we have two fun primetime matchups. But let's talk about the bulk of the games on Sunday before we get into it. I'll give some quick pointers. Boys, get your bets lined up, and then we will get right into it. The Falcons are 4-0 against the spread this year, and they are big underdogs against Tampa Bay this week, +9, and they have never, in the history of that franchise, started 5-0. Against the spread. Week 5 is the third time in 33 total games. The Jags will be favored against the Texans. That's only 3 total games. They've lost by 14-plus points in the previous 2 meetings. Teddy Bridgewater is 43-21 against the spread and 24-6 against the spread on the road. He's the 5th most profitable quarterback in a group led by Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, and Drew Brees. And lastly, Cooper Rush is currently the only undefeated quarterback against the spread. He's also the first Cowboys quarterback to start his career 4-0. Let's get into the noon slate. What do you guys like?
Well, I like the 8:30 slate myself.
Okay, we'll start there, and then we'll get right into it. That game, of course, the Giants and Packers.
Yes. So I like a same game for that game. I like to stick to my running back and wide receiver parlays, but I always have to put a same game together for the Packers. Aaron Jones has been absolutely eating since they've been finally giving him the ball more than 10 times. Like, that dude, he gets 8 yards a touch, I swear. He's awesome to watch. I like Aaron Jones to score, and I like Aaron Jones over 64.5 rushing yards. So I like those two together in that parlay. Romeo Doubs going for his 3rd straight game with a touchdown. He should have had 2 last week. That one barely hit the ground, debatably. So I like I like him to score again, and I like his 55 yards. And then running backs, flashing back to David Montgomery, Dalvin Cook. They can run the ball on Green Bay, so I like Saquon over 69.5 rushing yards.
He may be the quarterback that game.
Right? Yeah, I know. Yeah. That wouldn't be good.
They would just run the Wildcat all game.
Right?
Because no way Tyrod Taylor's playing with that concussion and all the heat that's coming down on the NFL right now after Tua's injury. And Daniel Jones may or may not be ready to go by 8:30.
Right. So, and then the last leg of my parlay is actually depending on that quarterback situation. So I would say if Daniel Jones and Tyrod Taylor don't play, I'd say you up Saquon's rushing yards to maybe 79.5 or even 89.5. I think he's going to eat. And then I think if one of the quarterbacks plays, I think you do Green Bay 3+ sacks. Rashawn Gary's second highest in odds now to win Defensive Player of the Year. He's a monster, coming off 2 sacks last week again. So I love that. Those 5-6 picks in a parlay.
They'll have a quarterback. There's going to be a new backup other than Tyrod Taylor.
You would think they wouldn't just stick with a wildcat.
Yeah, they'll promote somebody from the practice squad, and if Daniel Jones can't go, we'll see somebody's first career start, and we'll see Green Bay march all over them. So that's the 8:30 game. I don't really care to touch any more on that. I think James really hit the nail on the head, Troy.
Yeah, I just had 2 scores. I had Aaron Jones and Barkley, and then, like you said, I'd probably throw in a few player props, but other than that, just those 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, stick to the 2 running backs. I don't even touch the Giants receiving core. Zach Wilson has more receiving touchdowns than Kenny Galladay this year. So let's move right into the noon slate. Goodness gracious. I'm going to be able to talk today. Pitts. I just got to stop talking. I almost said Pitts.
Yeah. Troy, your turn.
Somebody else take
noon.
This.
My noon o'clock. Oh, I'm not doing good either.
Hey, let's just
noon o'clock running back.
I can keep going.
I did Alvin if he plays. Damian Harris, I think, finds the end zone. Is Montgomery still? Is he going to play at all?
I think they were leaning towards Herbert being in again.
Okay,
Raj.
so yeah, I put Herbert down. Just
Khalil. Yes.
I just assumed.
Yeah.
David wasn't playing. Nick Chubb, and I like Devin Singletary and James Robinson.
Okay.
Those are my noon running backs.
I was on a lot of the same. I do like Damian Harris a lot this week and James Robinson as well. I like Kamara if he plays. That's a big if, I guess. And then I'm on Dalvin, Eckler, and Derrick Henry.
Yeah, pretty nice. All good running backs there. If I touched on them, I would just probably mix them up in other parlays. So no need to go really any further into that. One play I do think that could be very, very interesting is Jalen Waddle this week because he will not be matched up with Sauce. So
I also like Waddle.
So
I was on him, and I like those stats you were reading about Teddy too, and covering against the spreads. Nice. I mean, doesn't necessarily mean he's eating at quarterback, but it means he's doing enough,
doing enough to cover. And if you're going to cover, you have to win in this game because they are favored. So by winning, got to score. I think Waddle's going to get most of the balls, and Sauce has been insane this year. I'm not saying Tyreek can't get around him, make awesome plays, things of that nature. But if I can take the guy that isn't matched up with the star-studded rookie, I'm taking Jalen Waddle.
You almost think he wouldn't shadow him either, since they do have 2 guys like Tyreek and Waddle. He just play whichever side he's comfortable on and send him out that way.
Yeah, so that's a great point too. It's an excellent point. Are you guys going to mix in any receivers in the noon slate now? Did I jump the gun there?
Oh, yeah. I like some. Absolutely.
Go ahead.
We hit on Waddle already. Diggs is going to get into the end zone this week, along with Mike Williams and Thielen. And I also like DK and Chris Godwin. Boom. Okay. Make some money, people.
I think Geno Smith is going to have another good week.
I agree. I was also on DK and Waddle, obviously. And then I was also on Diggs as well with you. And then I have Christian Kirk, Justin Jefferson. Do we know if Amon-Ra's back?
I was actually just looking that up. As far as I know, I have not seen any report saying that he's trending in the right direction, but I could be wrong.
Because honestly, if he's not, then I like whoever's leading the receiving core there, DJ Chark, or if he's out, then Reynolds again. Because Jared Goff's been somehow playing well.
Dude, mix in TJ Hawkinson for all I care.
Playing fantastic.
Yeah, Hawkinson too. That's not a bad pick. I tend to leave tight ends out just because I feel like they're in every other week and it's so hard to predict. But unless it's like Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce scores every freaking week. He's awesome.
He's always minus odds too.
Yeah,
always
like a running back.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, his most recent update that got released at noon today said he did not practice. That's it.
Nice.
Today's Wednesday.
Wednesday, of course. People are starting to catch on that we record on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Release on.
Yeah, those are my new wide receivers.
I think all of them are great plays. I really do. I was also really excited to see last week Justin Fields throw for over 145.5 passing yards, which was absolutely insane. Like I said, yeah, that was one of those moments for at least a Bears fan. We still lost, but that was a moral victory, right? That's what the Bears are all about, a moral victory. Speaking of the Bears, really fast, just one quick note. I saw a mock draft today that had Bryce Young going to the Bears. I was kind of confused by that because not only is that a little unfair for Justin Fields because that team has been atrocious since he's joined, but that will also be the third quarterback jersey that I've purchased in like 10 years. I feel like a Browns fan at this point.
Fourth.
And then I would have to get a jersey, and I do not want to get a Bears jersey.
Yes, you do. I'll let you bum mine. You can bum my Trubisky jersey. How about that?
There we go.
That's a jersey you want to hold on to. Moving on to the 3 o'clock slate. 49ers, Panthers, Eagles, Cardinals, Cowboys, Rams.
Let's hear yours. You go first.
The Rams.
You got any touchdowns?
Yeah, in that first game for the 49ers, I think Jeff Wilson runs one in again. I loved the way that I like that as well. I loved the way that he ran the football against the Rams, and I'm comfortable to play that in favor of the 49ers here. I really wanted to say yes to Christian McCaffrey again, but I just can't against the 49ers defense. I really just can't. I can't say yes about him. I can't say yes about DJ Moore. I can't say yes about anybody in a Panthers uniform. I think if somebody scores, great. It's great for fantasy purposes, but I am never going to put my money on the line when it comes to betting against that 49ers defense.
Baker Mayfield is not getting one slip from me.
Right. I think Jalen Hurts is a lock to run one in again against the Cardinals. He basically runs one in every week, and if you're going to get a little dicey with rushing, I'd rather do him than Miles Sanders and Kenneth Gainwell because we saw what happened after week 1. Neither running back scored then until last week. And Jalen Hurts, however, has been just consistently scoring when he's been running the football. I like him more than I like James Conner, more than I like Kyler Murray. And then in the Dallas Rams game, this one was kind of difficult to choose is the best way to put it. Last week I was high on Cam Akers. I think I'm going to do it again. I think Cam Akers finally gets in. I would love to say Zeke in this spot, but Zeke has been underwhelming this year. I'd love to say Tony Pollard, but Tony Pollard, frankly, too, has been underwhelming to start this year. So I'm going to stick with the Ram. I'm going to stick with Cam Akers. He got most of the touches over Darrell Henderson. Those would be my 3 rushing touchdowns in the 3 o'clock slate.
Are you fond of that?
Yeah, a little bit. I like Zeke. And I like Miles Sanders. I think both of those guys have shown that they can get into the end zone occasionally. And Miles looked so good last week.
That is the thing, occasionally. And that's how I think about with this Rams team. Who occasionally scores on the ground? Neither.
Yep.
So maybe I'm just taking a Hail Mary.
I think our running backs were the same, Troy, Wilson, Zeke, and Sanders.
Yeah, so, I will definitely be placing that for sure.
Zeke let me down last week, so I'm sure he'll get in this week. Sanders 8 last week. I like to think he'll continue that. Then wide receivers, I had Debo, Kupp, and then I went Dallas Goedert in that Eagles game.
Okay.
It's a good one.
Just talking about how I stayed away from tight ends usually, but I think the odds are probably going to be pretty good on that, and I think he throws one in. Not Goddard. Hurts. Took Goddard.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Trey Lance rushing a touchdown. It's going to be DeAndre Hopkins catching a touchdown, and it's going to be Odell Beckham Jr. in the Rams game. All 3 locks.
I like it.
Locks.
That looks, those odds are probably nice too.
Yeah, they're awesome. Troy, who do you like catching the ball?
I mean, there's no way Cooper Kupp goes 2 weeks without scoring.
Amen.
I probably will do a big parlay of all my running backs and the receivers I like. Since it's only 3 games and you do 2 touchdowns in each game, oh my gosh, that payout's probably unbelievable.
I think
I get that little 25% boost.
Oh yeah. So I like Kupp, AJ Brown, and I like Ayuk. I did Ayuk since he didn't get in last week.
Yeah, I think Kittle finally gets in. It's about time. He
was rough to watch.
He was because he was used as more of a blocker.
But he did. I mean, his toe, he almost scored.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
it's there.
He was used as more of a blocker, but we know Jimmy G likes to hit his big-bodied tight end in the end zone. And now that he's finally back on the football field, which is kind of shocking, you wouldn't normally see a guy that had the injury wasn't it a groin injury? You wouldn't normally see him blocking more coming back from injury, yet that's what they had him doing. Makes me believe that he's more healthy than we think. So I think he gets into the end zone for sure. I think it's time for A.J. Brown to get back into the end zone and Cooper Kupp. So those would be my three. And, dude, I like that, possibly parlaying the runners and the receivers here in this. Yeah. I think that would be really fun to watch.
3 games, that's fantastic. That's the only thing that'll make it fun.
It's just 6,
Right.
If you want to hedge it, just do 2 individuals and then put the 6 in. Well, the reason I say it's only 6 is because, and touchdown scorers are different, of course, but we've seen parlays, massive parlays, get to 15 leggers, 20 leggers already this season, people taking money lines and spreads and things, but even just mixing and matching. I was one away from a 5-leg touchdown bet in week 1 or week 2 rather. So, 6 touchdowns, if they're going to be high scoring, which one of the games is projected to be, the other ones are supposed to be low scoring, but you're taking the lock in Cooper Kupp in that Rams game, essentially. Now, if you take somebody on the Cowboys, which is probably what I would tend to do then if I did do the 6-legger, I would take Cooper Kupp and then most likely Zeke or even Tony Pollard and get a little crazy with it. But that Eagles-Cardinals game, they're expecting 50-plus points there. There's no doubt in my mind that we're going to see a lot of touchdowns scored, especially for the Eagles in that matchup. But think about the 49ers-Panthers here. They are one of the only games this week that are supposed to be under 40 points. They actually are the only game this week. 39 is the over-under.
Yeah, so maybe stick to just 1 that game, do 2-2-1, play it a little safe.
Yeah, let's get right into Sunday Night Football, Cincinnati and Baltimore. We might as well just let the guy go, James. Troy.
Well, we saw what they did to us last year. Joe Burrow threw for 400 yards, and then I went to the game later in the season and threw for 5.
And Lamar played in that game.
Yeah, I was.
We didn't see Andy Dalton.
We're not talking about that. I don't know why I brought it up, but the reason I did is because I think he'll have a good game. Chase has been kind of quiet. I think our old boy Hayden Hurst. I like Hayden Hurst. He's been playing kind of well. I could see him having a decent game against us since we traded him after 1 year. Well, Mark Andrews was just playing too well, man. He wasn't doing anything. He had to go. Is what it is. JK will get in. I think he's almost a lock every week now that he's back and he's going to start getting his full volume. And Mark Andrews, he stayed very quiet last week against a good defense, but those 4 guys that find the end zone, you could do 3, pick and choose out of the 4, and then just do their yards. Chase's yards, Hurst yards, Dobbins yards, and Mark. I like Lamar 2 passing touchdowns and Burrow to throw a pick.
I think you can do a lot in this game, mix and match, and still.
Oh, there's so many. I didn't mention Higgins. I didn't mention Boyd.
You also didn't even mention Lamar Jackson running one in.
Right.
His rushing yards, which has been a lock every week since the start of the NFL football season this year. That's my favorite bet in this game. Lamar's rushing. I don't even care what the number's at. He's going to hit it. They could put 100 yards on there, and he'd rush for 110 in this game.
Bateman was in a walking boot, so he's probably not going to practice all week, so he's going to be probably a game time decision. So for us, we probably won't be over there. So we're going to have to place that bet probably on Saturday or Sunday morning. We probably won't have an answer. So just be careful with him.
James?
I'm also on Jamar Chase. I think he's been a little too quiet. I think Mixon gets into the end zone again for the second straight week. I like Lamar to run one in. And then I like Andrews. He's just too good. And then I think there's going to be a lot of scoring in this game, so I like those 4.
Yeah, what I would recommend those out there to do is just follow along Hurrdat Sports and our personal Twitter pages as we post these bets out there, because there's just so many combinations in this game in particular that the best way to follow along is just seeing what we do the morning of. and then figuring out if you like that or if you want to go a different direction. And if you want added insight, feel free to message us, DM us at Hurrdat Sports. We'd love to provide anything we can to really help you out and directing you the right way when it comes with placing your money out there. I'm not going to get into the tornado of James and Troy's minds here because my picks are just swirling around there too. So let's move right on to Monday Night Football, Raiders, Chiefs. I'm going to let you guys start off again, and then I will close this out for the game. Yep, go ahead.
All right, well, this game was fantastic last year. I specifically remember, I don't remember the one in Kansas City. I remember the one in Vegas, and it was just touchdown after touchdown after touchdown.
The Raiders won that one in Kansas City because that was the lap around the stadium, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. That game was insane. So Jacobs, I'm definitely putting him in there after his week last week, 100%. Adams is due. Those are my two locks for the Raiders. And then I'm going to go Kelsey. Like you said, he's always minus, but he kills the Raiders. Oh, my God. He scores every time I watch a Chiefs-Raiders game. And Pat's going to run one in. I know I've been on it a lot. It's going to happen, and I'm not going to miss it. Patty rushing touchdown. Like I said, Juju's blacklisted.
I think you're in a good spot with the first three. I would probably throw Clyde in as my last one.
That was my mistake last week, and I'm not going to learn. So
I won on the Chiefs game last week. That was what saved me. It was the same game in that one with Kelsey and Allaire, and they were the first two touchdowns of the game. Got that out of the way so easily. So I'm right on that again, and then I'm with Troy with Jacobs and Adams.
Yeah, I also I just don't think the Raiders are that good this year. They were much better last year than they are this year. So when it comes to scoring, the Chiefs are going to score more in this game and win. So there's no doubt in my mind that they win this game by at least a touchdown. Of course, that's what the spread was given at, is -7. If you want, buy back down a half a point, put 6.5 in there. They'll win by a score. They may win by 10, but Derek Carr hasn't looked his best this year. I do believe Adams will get into the end zone. I do believe Jacobs, after last week, can run all over this Chiefs defense. But when it comes down to just picking anybody on the Chiefs, avoid Juju. I'm not going to say people keep hammering Juju because he just looks non-existent when they enter the red zone. And then Travis Kelce is a lock. Clyde's a lock. Pat could be a lock running in the football. Outside of those three, it's a toss-up with that receiving core. You know, it could be as gross as Sky Moore this week.
Throwing in McKinnon and Sky Moore. Yeah,
all three tight ends scored for them. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, that team is just
mess with that. That rushing touchdown from that tight end.
It's so lengthy when it comes to position players scoring touchdowns because Pat can literally throw it anyone's direction and score. It's not like you're seeing the third string tight end drop a ball in the end zone. No, he's catching it every time, and that's kind of what pisses me off when I watch Chiefs games. But that's how I would handle the touchdown bets there. Sprinkle in some bets on Mahomes to have his passing prop hit. I think that's an easy one this week. I think Clyde hits his rushing prop. I think Jacobs hits his rushing prop. I would also even throw Kelsey in, again, at plus odds. Wherever you can get him, his receiving prop is hitting. That's just what he does. He catches the ball 7-8 times. 90 to 100 yards.
Especially in prime time.
It just happens. I don't even know how it happens because teams should know by now that he's getting the football, yet for the last, how many years? 2013? Did he enter the league in 2013? I can't even remember. It could have been earlier than that. But since he's entered the league, that's what he's been doing.
Cincinnati.
Product of Cincinnati. Also, Alec Pierce, Thursday night. Don't forget.
34.5. I remember.
Plus odds.
Let's build a parlay. Can we cue the music? And James, fire away.
Aaron Jones anytime touchdown.
Ooh, I like Michigan over 58.5 against Indiana. Troy.
Phillies are going to win the wild card series, boys. Only thing that'll make it sweeter is us hitting. Come on. Sorry, boys. Hey, when it hits, you won't be mad.
Hey, Raj, so you want to throw extra on just R2?
Yeah, exactly.
Or are we just throwing some on R2?
This is the last week Troy will be on the show.
Yeah. Me and Raj will do an extra one on the
Why are you going to do that to us? Like,
no, they're plus odds.
You said to pick a lock. I'm picking a lock.
A lock?
Come on.
Albert Pujols to hit a home run in the first Build-A-Parlay was a lock.
I'm 2 out of 3. So even if I lose and you both win, I'm tied with you guys.
If you lose and we both win,
last week
I'm going to be pissed.
I got 2 out of 3.
So do I.
1 out of 3.
I have 1.5 because we also did Rashad Penny anytime touchdown.
Oh, thank goodness.
Mine last week was a wash. 170 yards and 2 touchdowns.
If they were playing tennis, they would have avoided the bet because he got hurt. Just so we know.
Massive eye roll.
Yeah, Nadal.
Well, we already know why James likes his man. We know why Troy likes the Phillies. Let me tell you why, quickly, I like Michigan versus Indiana because I held off on this. But it's just some quick bullet points here. So Indiana has been getting torched through the air, and Michigan has one of the best passing attacks in the country. Indiana, surprisingly, if you guys can believe this or not, is the fastest at pace in the country, averaging close to a play every 17 seconds. That's
actually insane.
Yeah, that's nuts. They just love running the hurry-up offense. And Michigan is just so good offensively. They gain close to 7 yards per play. Yeah. I mean, this to me...
17 seconds.
This to me is just so easy, and if Nebraska and Indiana can hit this over like they did last week, there's no doubt in my mind that you're going to see Michigan hit this over. They may hit it on their own. This game may be like 63-0. It could easily be that. Michigan is so good at football. That's what we like. That's the Build-A-Parlay. Our quick hitters there, and pretty easy. Everything is good except for Troy's, naturally. We get it. Whatever. Unbelievable.
I guess next week's my week.
That is so unbelievable. Why would you do that, though? You know. Why are we going to have to root for that now?
Because it's the only thing that's going to make it sweet.
I'm not rooting for it at all.
I mean, we're going to only...
It's the only thing. If they win, you give me shit. Boom. It's a win-win for you guys. If the Cardinals lose, you make some money.
What?
Yay.
Exactly. Like you said, Raj, you'll watch the Bears lose every week if you make 2 G's on every game.
Yeah, that's not the postseason. That's not the postseason. My team's not making it to the postseason.
And 2 G's.
Yeah, am I going to win 2 G's?
Depends on how much we put on
parlay? I'm not putting
500.
I'm not putting a free bet down. I don't even have free bets. I run through my bets.
Got to take Ashley to the border, man.
Man, why'd you have to do that, dude? That's so fucked up.
Hey,
it is really stupid of you.
Sorry. Till it
I don't think you are.
There you have it. Build-A-Parlay. It is the rule of the game. I have to give Troy at least credit there. He went with the rules. We have to ride whatever we say, no matter what it is. I can be pissed off all I want, but that's what it's going to have to be. And if that is the only leg that misses, I am going to personally order like crap in a box and send it to you.
I'll be waiting for it.
Yeah, this is going to be you.
Yeah, we'd file a police report on you.
Yeah, police report. Wouldn't be the first one, right, Trey?
That is true.
What was that story again? It was on Main Street?
Well, I don't remember if it was Tim or whoever was driving, but they decided to pull over right in front of the feds. Right in front of all of the cop cars.
Come on.
4 of them. There's 4
right in
of
front
them.
of the bar. Don't finish your drink in the car, you idiot.
Yeah, and I stepped out right next. He did park right next to the trash can, and I shut the door, pounded my beer, threw in the trash can. And dude said he caught me drinking on Main, which that guy, he loved his job a little more than I like mine. So
I couldn't believe it.
Yep.
Unbelievable. So there you have it. Build-A-Parlay. Hopefully we put out some good plays for you this week. And also, of course, we hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure to give us a follow at Hurrdat Sports. And follow along with our clips every week. We love putting those out for you, just little snippets. And then give us a download wherever you get your podcasts, whether that's Spotify, whether that's Apple Podcasts. We're pretty much everywhere. Keep following along. We love the support. And we'll be back next Thursday for big plays, bad days, and parlays. For Troy Aldridge, James Merrig, and our producer, Dylan. Great job over there on the board. I'm Andrew Rogers. This
Thanks,
is another
Dylan.
episode of Big Plays, Bad Days, and Parlays.